Hi Year 9, it's Mrs Woolard here with your next lesson on crime and punishment in Britain through time. So far you have been studying the Anglo-Saxons and you have looked at law enforcement, and this week's task was for you to look at Norman crimes and punishments. So you should have discovered this week that there were three kinds of crimes in Anglo-Saxon times: crimes against the person, such as murder or assault, crimes against property, such as theft or arson, and crimes against authority, such as treason. There was also a particular punishment to match each crime, as you can see from my diagram. So crimes against the person received financial compensation, which was paid to the family of the victim. The amount they got depended on their social position or which body part had been removed. The two words for these are virgild and botgeld. For crimes against property, Anglo-Saxons could be fined or maimed, which is having a bit chopped off. And for crimes against authority, this is the most serious crime and would be punished by hanging. There is one kind of punishment which is missing from Anglo-Saxon times, which you were asked to consider. And you can see in the picture there, we use punishment, prison as a punishment in modern times. That's not something that the Anglo-Saxons did. Finally, you were asked to write an answer to a 4-mark question. It's a very familiar style to you because it's what you've seen on the Anglo-Saxons paper in the past. And this one was describe 2 key features of how the Saxons punished criminals. And you had a little guide there to remind you how to do it. On the right-hand side there, you will see what a good one looks like, an example answer to that question that I'm just going to read you through. One way that the Anglo-Saxons punished criminals was virgild. This was financial compensation paid to a murder victim's family. Another way that Anglo-Saxons punished criminals was hanging. This was for crimes against authority, such as betraying your lord. You can see there where I have managed to get my 4 marks. What I would like you to do now, please, before you move on to this week's task, is to look at your answer to that question. Use the mark scheme you can see here, use the example answer, and see how many marks out of 4 you would give yourself. So, for this week, you will see that you now need to move on to the last aspect of crime and punishment in the Anglo-Saxon times, and that is trials, putting people on trials once they have been accused of a crime. Now, you'll see from the picture that the trials look almost like punishments because they can be quite brutal, these trials, but please be clear in your notes, just as I am here, that these are trials, not punishments. What you're going to investigate is something called trial by ordeal, which is a way of establishing innocence or guilt by letting God decide. So good luck, enjoy it, and I will see you next week. Bye.